today's session. Okay, so yes,
Yes, sir.
Kirtana. So can you quickly revise what we discussed yesterday, Kirtana? Quickly, what do you mean by a class? What do you mean by an object and all that? Quickly, so that we can proceed further. We will see the
Yeah,
implementation of all those today.
yeah, yes. Class is basically like it tells how should an object be.
Okay, okay,
If we think of something and if we get a perfect picture of it, it is an object, else it
okay.
is a
So,
class.
okay, how do you define an object?
It occupies space
Yes.
and it has state,
Okay,
behavior.
that's all. It has a behavior, correct? So
Yeah,
occupy space, it has a state and have a
that's it.
behavior.
Yeah,
Okay. So what do you mean by
behavior.
okay? So what do you mean by encapsulation?
Encapsulation is binding the data members and the functions which are supposed to use those data members together,
Okay, okay.
keeping the non-member functions outside a class or something like that.
Awesome, awesome. I like the way you actually put that in the group. It was beauty. I really loved it. The way you put that in the group, it was awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so coming to the next one. What do you mean by inheritance?
Inheritance is deriving a class from a class which is already existing.
Okay, you're from computer science background, Kirtana?
No,
No, you're learning all
I'm
this.
from electronics and communication.
You're learning all this for the first time.
I had some papers on programming, but not very much.
No, object-oriented concepts.
Properly in the class only I'm learning.
Okay, no, you had this object-oriented programming and all before in your college or something as part of your syllabus.
Yeah, we had a paper, but just for we studied. That's it. We didn't learn much.
Okay, right. Okay, so inheritance is deriving from deriving a child class from the base class, isn't it? Okay, and what relationship does it satisfy? What relationship? If suppose you
Inheritance
have two classes and you want to make sure that both are having inheritance relationship, then there is something that it has
is
to
a
satisfy.
relationship.
Exactly, it is easier relationship. Okay,
Is a
so okay,
relationship.
awesome. So what is the next thing? You have polymorphism. What do you mean by polymorphism?
One function or object taking several
Anything, one
forms.
entity and different forms, correct? No?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So one entity, different forms becomes your polymorphism. Okay, and then what about your abstraction?
Abstraction. God, I
Abstraction.
forgot.
Abstraction is exposing the interface and all the
And
implementation
hiding the
details.
implementation.
Yeah, so all your implementation details would be hidden. Okay, so that is basically called as abstraction. What do you mean by composition?
Abstraction. If two classes has a relationship, it is a
Exactly.
composition.
So if one object is part of another object, that becomes your composition, isn't it? So
Composition.
that is composition.
Yeah.
So these are the features which actually makes any programming language object oriented in
An object oriented.
so that becomes object oriented programming language. Is that okay? So we discussed this
Yes, sir.
in a object oriented way, but we had not discussed this in Python. Okay, so shall we start discussing this in Python with the help of a code? Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
fine then. You can mute
Yeah.
yourself. Okay, you can mute yourself and then we'll start discussing. By the way, I want some. Bhavna, is your
Yeah.
Bhavna, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So is your environment very silent?
Yes, sir. It
Yeah.
looks like yes, sir. Like this.
Okay, sure. So please help me out. Okay, from now when I ask you a question, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
what we'll be discussing today is that so I would tell you how to create a class. It's a very simple. So if you consider class in C++, class in Java, and all that, okay, it's quite what do you call? You have to learn a lot of things when you want to actually implement class in Java or C++, but it is very straightforward and very simple in Python. Okay, and then I'll tell you how to actually create your object of this particular class. Any class that you create, how do you actually create an object? Okay, so when you create an object, what is the next thing that you have to do? Can anyone tell me? You have a class, you have an object, and then what is that you have to do now? Okay, you have to make the object behave, no? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So suppose, okay, let me explain this to you. If suppose you have a class called as human being, okay, you have a class called as human being, okay, and when you have class called as human being, and what are the actions that a human being can actually do? Can anyone tell me what is the action that you can do, Danya? Okay, what can it do? Sorry, Bhavna. Sorry, Bhavna.
Talk,
Human
walk.
being can talk, right? Human
Yeah.
being can talk. Okay, human being can walk. Okay, and a human being can actually eat. All these things, right? These are called as what? What are these called as? These
Behaviors.
are called as behaviors. Okay, behavior of whom? Okay, it's a
Of
behavior of
human being.
okay. So but human being is basically what? It's just a blueprint. It is not the real entity, correct? No. So how do I create the real entity? So the real entity would be Subhash. Yes or no? Subhash is a real human being. He is an object. Okay. Similarly, say for example, Bhavna is a real object. Correct? No. Bhavna
Yes,
is
sir.
a real object. Okay. Now, if suppose I want to say, so this is your class. This is your class. Okay. And these are your objects of that particular class. Correct. So I'll show you how to create in Python. Don't worry. Just understand for now. So you have a class called as human being. Okay. And then you have objects called as, Subhash and Bhavna, which is actually created out of this particular class. Right. Now next thing is that what is the next thing? I have a class. I have created objects out of this class. What is the next thing I have to do? I have to ask Subhash to talk. I want to ask Subhash to walk. I want to ask Subhash to eat. Similarly, I want to ask Bhavna to talk. I want Bhavna to walk. I want Bhavna to eat. Correct? No? Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I ask Subhash to actually talk, or how do I do that? Okay, I cannot just directly say just talk. When I say just talk, okay, whom am I asking to actually talk? You're getting what I'm saying? If suppose I want Bhavna to talk, then I have to say Bhavna talk. Okay. If suppose in this class also, if suppose I want someone to talk, what is the first thing that I'll do? Okay, I'll say Kirtana talk, Lakshmi talk, Yogesh talk, Bhavna talk. I use your name, right? So I using your name, I just ask you to perform certain action. Okay, but what Bhavna talks may be different. What Lakshmi talks might be different. What Kirtana is talking might be different. But I want individual to talk, each object to talk. So how do I do that using Python? Okay, using Python, if I want Subhash to talk, then I would actually make Subhash object. I mean, I would call talk on Subhash like this by saying Subhash dot, okay, talk. Okay, when I say Subhash dot talk, it means I'm asking the object Subhash to do the behavior. Is that okay? You understand this concept? I'll show you this via programming, don't worry. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you now. If suppose I want Bhavna to talk, what is it I will do? Okay, I'll just say Bhavna, please talk. How do I do that in Python? Bhavna dot talk. Okay, please Bhavna, please talk. You're understanding what I'm saying? So this is how I actually ask every object to perform certain operation. Having said this, if this is the case, now what is Subhash? Tell me. In this case, in this example, say for example, in this example, in this statement, what is Subhash?
Object.
It is an object. Subhash is basically an object. Okay, and in that case, what is talk? What is talk?
Behavior.
It's a behavior, or technically, I mean, behavior is a
Function.
term in design. Okay, what is talk basically? In technical terms,
Function.
what is it?
Function.
No,
No.
no, there's one more name I actually gave you. Exactly,
Method.
Kirtana. Yeah, correct. It is basically called as a method. It is called as a method.
Method.
Okay, so you must understand the difference between function and method. Function is something which is out of the class. It is not part of an object. It is not object's behavior. It is a function. Okay, so something which actually becomes an object's behavior, no, that becomes a method. You're understanding? So in this
Yes,
case,
sir.
Subhash is an object and talk is basically a method. Got that clear? So we would be
Yes, sir.
discussing methods. Okay, we would be discussing methods. Okay, we will see how to call behavior using the dot operator. Okay, using the dot operator. Okay, and then we would be learning about something called, I mean, methods itself. We will be having three types. Okay, so what are they? One is called as your instance methods. I'm just giving you an idea what all we are learning today. Okay, so that when we come through the program, when we go through the programs, right, you'll understand, right? So one we'll be learning is instance methods. We will be discussing class methods. Okay, we'll be discussing class methods. Okay, and then we'll also be discussing something called as static methods. Okay, these are the things we'll be discussing today. Is that okay? And what is the difference between these? How can we use this and all this? Is that okay? Shall we get into the programs now? Are you all ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so can I remove this from the screen? You want to take a picture or something like that? You want to take a picture or something like that? You want to write it down? You want to take a picture? If you've taken the picture, just say took so that I can clear this out from the screen. Is that okay? Took? Fine. Okay, now I'll show you how to create a class. First thing is, if you want to create a class, okay, listen to me very carefully. If you want to create a class in Python, you have to use the keyword called as class. Okay, you have to use the keyword called as class. Okay, and now if you want to create a class of any type, say human being type or whatever it is, right, then you'll have to give a name to it. You have to say what kind of class are you actually creating. So I would say human being class. Okay, and then as you all know in Python, okay, so whenever you're creating any construct, we basically use colon. So I use a colon over here. Is that okay? Is that okay till here? Okay, you say class human being. Why don't you please write it down in a sheet of paper or a notebook along with me, so that it will become a practice for you. Okay, then I'll show the code to you guys. Okay, so class human being, class human being. Okay, class human being. The class is not yet completed. Okay, I just say class human being. It's a name. I've created a name for the class. Everyone. Okay, class human being colon. If you're done, just say done. If you've written it down, just write if I have done. Okay, or else I'll be waiting. If you're done, okay. So class human being, and then you will have to give a tab space. That is your indentation. Okay. So what is that you will do now? I will actually give you a, I mean, I will have to write a behavior, correct? So how do I create a behavior? Behavior is nothing but a method, no? Okay. So it's basically nothing but a function inside a class, correct? So how do I create that? I use this called as def keyword. I think you have already used it. Okay, which stands for definition. Definition. Now, can you tell me one of the behavior? I mean, any behavior? Can you tell me what is the behavior? Put that in the chat box if you know any behavior. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So I'll call it as talk behavior. Okay. And then, okay, listen to me very carefully. Talk behavior and then colon. Okay. So here it is mandatory. Guys, listen to me very carefully. If it is an instance method, it means if it is a behavior of an object, if Subhash wants to talk, okay, then you have to use something called as self over here. This self, listen before writing out, listen. Okay, this is called as an instance method. When I say instance method, I'll explain this via code. Okay, don't worry. It is called as an instance method. This is basically a class. This is called as an instance method. Okay, instance method is nothing but the method which actually operates on the instance. Instance is nothing but an object. Don't worry if you're not understanding all these terminologies. Take these things into your head. Later I'll be explaining it to you. Okay, this is basically a class. I'm creating a method. This method is nothing but an instance method. If it is an instance method, it means that you call this method with respect to your object. Okay, so instance is nothing but an object. Okay, when you create an object of a class, you basically call that as an instance of a class. You're getting it? Object or instance, both are same. When I say when we create an object, we just generally call it as we have created an instance of a class. Means we have created an object of a class. Subhash is an instance of human being. Okay, Bhavna is an instance of human being. Kirtana is an instance of human being. Yogesh is an instance of human being. Prabhakar is an instance of human being. You're getting what I'm trying to tell you? Okay, so those objects will basically make use of this. And when you're calling this method with respect to an object, it is mandatory that you have to use something called as self. Okay, so you might ask me, Subhash, what do you mean by something called as self? It is this self will always contain the reference. Listen to me carefully. This will always contain the reference using which you are actually calling this method, or it always contains the object's reference. Don't worry, I'll explain. Don't worry, just understand the way you have to write the code now. Okay, def self, and then you'll write the code over here. You want one more behavior, you'll say def walk. Okay, again self. Okay, then you say all the statements that you want and you complete the class. Okay, now the class definition is over. You have created a class. Now what is the next thing that you have to do? Now tell me, guys, what is the next thing that you have to do? Class is ready. What is the next thing that you have to do? Class is ready. It has some methods also. Everything is done. What is the next thing that you have to do? Blueprint is ready. What is the next thing? Don't worry, object creation. Okay, don't worry, I know you wouldn't have understood a lot of things over here. It's okay. One thing that you have to understand is how to create a class. You are supposed to create a method, and now what is the next thing? I am want to create an object. If suppose I want to create an object of this thing, you know what is that I have to do now? I have to basically say the object name Subhash is equal to listen to me, guys, listen to me first how I'm writing, then you can write down or whatever it is. Subhash is equal to, Subhash is basically an object now. Okay, Subhash is equal to human being. Okay, human being, open the bracket, close the bracket. So I have basically created one object on the heap. Is that okay? So diagrammatically, if you see, if this is your heap memory, you would have created one object. Okay, and you would have given a name to this object as Subhash. Okay, so Subhash is nothing but a name that represents one object, human being. Okay, that is one, you have created an object and the name for that object is Subhash. So Subhash is an object which occupies space, has a state and have a behavior. Okay, so how did I create this object? Using the class human being. Now I want to create Bhavna. What will I do now? Okay, Bhavna is equal to human being. Again, Bhavna is equal to human being. So how many objects do I have now in memory? Tell me, how many objects do I have? Okay, put that in the chat box. How many objects do I have? I want everyone to put that in the chat box. Okay, not one or two. I want everyone to participate. Okay, so I have two objects. One is Bhavna, the other one is Subhash. Right now, so basically two objects are created, and for two objects has been referenced with a separate name called as Bhavna and Subhash. If you want one more object, say Yogesh, then you'll have to say human being again. Is that okay? So first step in your object oriented programming is you create a class, you create an object, and then through the object you call your behavior. So how do I call the behavior of say walk? I would say Subhash dot, okay, walk. Okay, so Subhash will start walking. If suppose I want Bhavna to walk, then I would say Bhavna dot walk. You're understanding? Now Bhavna will start walking. You're understanding? These are the three steps: first step, second step, and the third step. Got it or not? We'll go to the program later. For now, if you want, I can repeat once again all the three steps. I will repeat. You want me to repeat the three steps, guys? Tell me, I'll repeat it once again. You want me to repeat the three steps of creating your creating your objects and making working with objects? Okay, three steps. What is the first step? You tell me. You want to take a picture of this? You want to take a picture of this? You can take a picture of this and say took. Okay, now tell me, what are the three steps? What is the first one? What is the first step? Create a class. Very good. You basically correct, Lakshmi. Okay, you say create a class. Okay, then what is the second step? What will class contain? What will class contain? Behavior and state. I'll tell you how to create state and all later. Behavior and state. It contains behavior and state. Okay, then what is the second thing? What is the second thing? You basically create object out of it. Correct? You create object of this particular class. Okay, right. Then what is the next thing you will do? What is the next thing you will do? Okay, this create a class will always contain, that is what Sushma, create method is nothing but behavior. Okay, you when you create a class, within that class you will have a behavior and a state. Behavior is nothing but your method. Is that okay, Sushma? Is that okay? And state is nothing but your instance variables. It is nothing but your instance variables. Okay, so there are two kinds of variables. I'll be talking about it. There are two kinds of variables. One is instance variables, the other one is class variables. Instance variables, the other one is class variables. I'll talk about it in detail. Okay, don't worry. For now, just understand there are two kinds of variables. One is instance variables and then class variables. Okay, what is the difference? I'll tell you later. Now create an object, and then what is the next one? And next what is the next one after creating an object? Okay, make objects behave. Make objects behave. Make your objects behave. Is that okay? Is that okay? Perform the make your objects behave using your behavior. Is that okay? Correct? Fine with that? Okay, now I told you how many types of methods are there, guys. Okay, all these are over. Now before getting to the how many kinds of methods are there? Did I tell you that? How many types of methods are there? Three types of methods. No, what are they, guys? Tell me. What are those? What are those three kinds of methods? Instance methods. Okay, instance methods. Fine. Then second one is what? Okay, static methods. Correct. Static methods. Correct. Okay, and then what is the next one? Class methods. Very good. You have class methods. Okay, so instance method will take one mandatory parameter. What is that? Instance method will take one mandatory parameter. What is that? What is that? Self. Okay, and class methods will take one mandatory parameter. What is that? Class methods also will take one mandatory parameter. What is that? I know I did not tell you. That is called as CLS. It's nothing but class. Okay, and static methods will not take any parameter by default, but you can pass parameter. Is that okay? So mandatory parameter self for instance method, mandatory parameter CLS for class methods. For static methods, there is no mandatory methods, mandatory parameters. Is that okay? So three kinds of methods are there: instance methods, static methods, and class methods. Instance methods will take one mandatory parameter called as self. Okay, class methods will take one mandatory parameter called as CLS, and static methods will not take any mandatory parameter. Is that okay? Is that okay, guys? Fine? Not fine? Is that okay? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So how many types of variables are there? I told you. How many types of variables are there? I told you. Two types. Okay, what are they? One is your instance variables. All this I'll put together, I'll connect all these things together in a short time. Okay, instance variables. Okay, and then what is the other one? What is the other one? It is called as class variables. They are called as class variables, instance variables and class variables. Okay, right. Instance variables belongs to the object, that is your instance, and class variables will belong to class. Class variable will belong to class. Is that okay? Before going to the actual program, I'm just setting up the things for you. Instance variable will belong to object and class variables will belong to the class. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Shall we recall once again everything from scratch so that you'll remember, you will not forget? Shall we recall everything once again from first, guys? Okay. Now, how do you actually create? What is the, if suppose you want to create an object and what are the three steps, guys? Tell me. What are the three steps? You tell me now. I'll just ask you. You must tell me. What are the three steps? First is create a class. Then you create an object and then make objects behave. Correct? No. Now, when you create a class, what will your class contain? What will your class contain? What is it? It must contain. It must contain behavior and the state. Yes or no? Okay. So behaviors are nothing but methods. Correct? Behaviors are nothing but methods. Correct? Methods are nothing but functions inside a particular class. Correct? Now, how many types of methods are there? How many types of methods are there? How many types of methods are there? What are those three types of methods, guys? Tell me. What are those three types of methods? Instance methods. I wanted to put that in the chat box or else, so that you will not forget. Instance method, static methods, and class methods. Correct? Okay. Instance method will take one mandatory parameter. What is it? What is it? Self. Static methods will not take any mandatory parameter. Okay. Class methods will definitely take one mandatory parameter. What is it? It is called as CLS. Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay. Now, how many types of instance variables are there? How many types of instance variables are there? What are they? What are those? Okay. One is instance variables. The other type is class variables. Is that okay? Instance variables and class variables. Okay. So instance variables belongs to whom? Instance variable belongs to whom? The object. Okay, very good. Okay, class variables belongs to whom? Class variables belongs to whom? The class. Okay, right. Now listen to me. If you have, now listen to me, guys, carefully listen to me. If you have class variables, listen, guys. Okay, I have a class. I have a class. Okay, I'll call it as human being. Okay, and out of this, I have two objects created. Okay, so let me call it as Subhash. Okay, Subhash, and then Bhavna. So two objects have been created. Okay, now if suppose I have a class variable called as A. Okay, so this A belongs to both Subhash and Bhavna, right? Yes or no? If it is a class variable, if it is a class variable, don't you think it belongs to both of them, Subhash and Bhavna? Yes or no? Correct? No? Yeah. So when you say class variables, it belongs to all the objects that has been created out of that class. Okay. But whereas instance variables belongs to what? It belongs separately. For Subhash will have one instance variable, Bhavna will have one instance variable. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? Did you understand what I'm saying? Understanding what I'm saying? Okay. So if you have a class variable that belongs to both objects, Subhash and Bhavna, but whereas if you have a instance variable that is basically belonging to each object. Okay. Okay. Guys, okay, not okay? Okay, not okay? Okay. Am I fast? Am I confusing you guys? No, I mean, to avoid confusion, I'm telling you all this so that I can go to the program then. I'm just preparing you for the real program. Okay. Now listen to me. Now listen to me. For class in, if I have a class variable and I make any changes to this class variable, is that change reflected in both Subhash and Bhavana? Because only few people are commenting here. I don't understand why only few people are commenting. Others, what are others doing? You're sleeping or what are you guys doing? I don't understand. I'm waiting for everyone's reply and only few people are acting as if it's only for few people. That's all. Guys, respond. No, you must have that common sense to respond. I'm talking to you. You have doubts, ask me. I'm waiting. Okay. So the question here, or is I not know, or I am in a confusion whether you guys are understanding or not. Yeah. If suppose I have a class variable and I make changes to this class variable, is that change reflected in both A and B? I mean, Subhash and Bhavana, is it reflected in both these objects, Subhash and Bhavana? Yes, no? Yes, okay. What if I have an instance variable? Okay, I make changes to this particular A. So if Subhash makes the changes to A, will it get reflected in Bhavana? Will it get reflected in Bhavana? No. Why it does not get reflected in Bhavana? Because each are belonging to its own. Okay. It means, listen to me. It means, guys, listen to me. It means, suppose Subhash is having something called as, height or weight. Okay. And Bhavana is also having a state called as weight. Okay. If Subhash changes the weight, will it change Bhavana's weight? If Subhash does the behavior eat, he eats more. Okay. So will anything happen to Bhavana? No, yeah. Absolutely no. That is what I'm trying to tell you. You're understanding, right? So some common entities, if you change, right, it will change in both. Say, for example, if Subhash and Bhavana is sitting in the same classroom, if Subhash and Bhavana is sitting in the same classroom and they have a common teacher called, Lakshmi Krishnappa is a common teacher, right? So if Lakshmi Krishnappa, one day she did not come, so it is basically affecting both the objects. Yes or no? Yes, no? Okay, so something which both the objects will commonly use, right, you can make that as a class variable. You're understanding what I'm saying? You got what I'm saying? That is called as your class variables. Is that okay? Okay, fine. Now shall we get into the code? Now these basics are enough. Okay, shall we get into the actual code? Are you all ready? Yeah. Okay, right. So Bhavna, are you ready? Shall we go ahead? Shall we help each other?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So I'm getting into the this thing now. Okay, so what happens in my first program, Bhavna? Can you tell me what is happening in my first program?
Sir, we have created an object called classy.
1 minute. Let me just see where is that draw. Okay, yeah. So what is happening in this? Okay, this is a program one. Okay, guys, if you're not understanding, please be ready with your chat box and we will have a discussion. Okay. Yeah. End of the day, I want everyone to understand this. Right. Tell me. So yes, Bhavna, tell me what are we doing here now?
Sir, we have created a class called classy.
Exactly. So we have a class called as classy. Is any doubt anywhere to anyone? Just say doubt. If there is no doubt, just say no so that I can proceed further. I'll be going very slow. I want you to understand things very clearly. Okay. I want everyone to say no. Okay. If you have no doubt, say no. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We have a class called as classy. Okay.
Then we are defining a method,
Yes, we have defined a method. Correct. No. So what is the name of the method?
set value,
Okay. We have something called a set value. And what are we passing here?
self. It is an
Okay,
instance.
exactly. When you have a parameter called as self over here, it is mandatory, right? No, if suppose we have a self over here, what happens? What happens? What is this method called as? What kind of method is this? It is
Instance.
basically an instance method. Very good. It is basically an instance method. Okay, right. So I have to answer one question for you. What does the self indicate? I'll answer that later. Don't worry. What does the self indicate? What do you mean by this self? Okay, fine. So next what we'll come to this later. Okay. Now what is the next one, ma?
We have one more method inside the same class,
Okay. So
which
what
is
is the
get
parameter it is
value,
passing?
self,
Okay. So what kind of method is this?
instance method.
Exactly. It is basically called as an instance method. Okay, fine. What is the self? I'll tell you in some time. We will keep it as it is. Okay. Then what am I having here? So one class definition is over, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? See, I have given this tab and all that. So class blueprint is over. Class definition is over here. Is that okay? Right. What is the next thing? Are everyone okay with that, guys? Tell me. Are you all okay? Just say okay in the chat box. Everyone. I want everyone to say okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So then what is the next thing, Bhavana? What is happening here?
We are printing hello.
Okay, so print is a method belonging to any particular class or anything?
No, sir.
No, it's basically a function. Okay, it's a generic function. So it prints hello. Okay, so the output would be hello. Okay, then what is happening here?
Then we are calling a
We
class.
are calling a class. We are creating an object. Yes or
Okay.
no? We are
Yes.
creating an
Yes.
object. This is known as creating an object. See here, class A using this, parameter. I'll tell you why this open bracket, close bracket is there. In the next program, you'll get to know. Okay. In this
Okay.
line, we are basically creating an object. Where will I write it? Shall I write it over here? Here, we are creating an object of the class C. Correct? Creating object of the class C. Is that okay with all? You're okay with all? Everyone, just say okay if you're okay with that. Okay. So how many object is there? One object is there now.
One
What is the
object.
object's name?
C.
How are you identifying the object? You're identifying the object using C. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, what are we doing? Next, what are we
Then
doing?
we are calling the definition
We
method.
are calling a method. Correct? No. Whose method are we calling? We are calling the method set value for the object C. So I'm saying I'm calling the set value method. It is like, you remember I told Subhash dot walk, Subhash dot talk and all that. Similarly, C is an object. I'm calling the set value behavior of the object C. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay? You're understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It means, let me give you one example so that you understand better. Okay, I'll give you one example. Okay, listen to me carefully. See here, class, class human being. I'll write it here, class human being. Okay, now class human being. Okay, so what I will do here is that I will let me create a object first. Okay, so Subhash. Okay, Subhash is equal to Subhash is equal to, so how do I create an object? By saying human being, like this I create an object, open the bracket, close the bracket, semicolon. Now what I want is, I want to put the height of Subhash. I want to put or the weight of Subhash. Okay, so what I will do, how do I do? I will do like this, Subhash dot, okay, put to weight. I'll call one method called as put to weight. Okay, so using this put to weight method, I will actually add a weight to Subhash object. Okay, so what is this put to weight? Tell me, what is this put to weight? What is put to weight? Bhavna, tell me what is put to weight?
It is. It is a method.
It is a behavior, it is a method. So where is it? I have to put that method with an indentation over here. I would say def. Okay, def put weight, def put weight, open the bracket, okay, close the bracket. What is it I have to put here?
Self.
Self, correct? Self. I'll tell you what is self in some time. Okay, again indentation. What is that I will do now? Self dot, okay, weight is equal to 78. Is that okay? Okay, 78. I have put one weight to this. Okay, so the moment I say Subhash dot put weight, this method would be called, and I would add the 78 into this self dot weight. Now listen to me carefully. This weight becomes my state. This is my state. It is my state. Is that okay? Now
Okay.
let me discuss what happens in case of Java. You guys know Java? Anyone who knows Java, just put that in the chat box. You understand Java, C++, anything? You know what happens? Okay, see, in Java what will happen, you will have something called as class. Okay, and you will give a name called as human being. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, let me there is no space, 1 second. Okay, yeah, so what happens in Java is, suppose, okay, you'll write it like this, class, okay, human being, I'll just say HB, open the brace and close the brace. Okay, here you will say, you will have to declare first int weight. You'll have to declare it int weight, and then you actually write a method called as void, okay, void put weight. This is in Java, void put weight. Okay, open the brace and close the brace, and then here you would actually put that weight or whatever it is, 78. Okay, so in Java this becomes your state. Okay, and this becomes your behavior. You're getting it? You're getting what I'm saying? This becomes your state and this becomes your behavior. But in Python you need not declare it before itself. Yes or no? This is, anytime in our previous program, did you declare it anytime? If suppose you want to use a variable, you directly told a is equal to 6, no? Yes or
No,
no? Did you ever say int a or int b or anything like that? Did you use that?
no, sir.
Yes, no, put that in the chat box. No, guys, I want you to put that in the chat box here. Exactly, Sushma, you're right. So that is dynamically typed. That is dynamically typed. Yes, you're understanding. That is the reason in Python you don't put int a, int b, and all that. Directly, whenever you want to put the weight, just say self dot weight, and automatically a new variable or new object is getting created for that particular object, Subhash. So now Subhash is an object which has a state called as weight. Is that okay? Is that okay? Not okay? Clear? Not clear? Unclear? You getting what? So in Java, it is not dynamically typed. It is statically typed. You have to say wait, and you have to create memory for it, and then you will have to call put wait and then put into it. But in Python, you need not put somewhere, wait before and all that. When you are about to put the wait, you can create a variable. That's what we did in Python. No, all these days we did the coding. Okay. So did we create the variable before itself? No, right? Whenever we need it, we actually put that. It was dynamically typed. And one more reason, one more good thing of Python is that you need not, if suppose you have initially stored a is equal to 6 in Python, okay, automatically later you can store a is equal to say string also. Yes or no? This is called as dynamically typed. Got it or not? You understanding what I'm saying? Okay, so people who have experienced in Java and all that, you will see such kind of things over there. The same thing in Python, you don't put that beforehand. Only thing is when you're creating it, it will automatically get created. That's the only difference. Okay, the concepts remain same. Okay, now I'll go more detail into it now. I'm just removing this Java thing from here. Okay, okay, one second. Let me finish. Let me remove it off. Okay, yeah. So here now listen. Now listen. Okay, so when I say Subhash dot put weight, what happened? I'm actually creating a weight. Now what does weight become? Tell me. What is weight? What is weight? Tell me quickly. What is weight? Weight becomes what?
State.
The state. No, it's not a variable. I know it's a variable. Yeah, Kirtan, it's a variable. I understand. But what is it? I mean, I know this is a function, but what is it? It is basically the behavior. No, it's a behavior, right? I know put weight is a function, but what is it? It is basically a behavior. Similarly, what is weight? What is weight? Someone told me it is basically a state. It's a state of the object Subhash. Okay, and the value of that state is 78. So Subhash's weight is 78. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Tell me okay. What if now? What if now? Okay, I'll come back to that now. I'll first finish off this. Okay. Yeah. So now, okay. Before that, one second. One second. Yeah. Okay. Tell me now. What is A and B? What is A and B?
State
State of
of
which object?
C.
So it means C is an object which has two behaviors. One is set value, the other one is get value. Okay, and then it has two states. Okay, one is A, the other one is B. Agree, disagree? Agree, disagree? Put that in the chat box. Agree, disagree? Yes or no? It has two states, A and B. Correct? Okay. Now, having said that, okay, how many of you can knows what do you mean by self? What is self? Any idea? Did you get to know what do you mean by self now? Yes, no. If you got to know, you tell me yes, else it's okay. Did you get to know what is self? Guys, did you get to know or not? Whatever it is, tell me whatever it is. Anyone who knows C++, who knows Java can actually will be understanding this. Okay. I want everyone to at least know. If you don't know, say no, no. If you don't know, no. I'm waiting for your answer. If you don't know, say no. Hey, sitting simply is so irritating, man. If you know, you say no, or else yes, whatever it is. Okay, Kirtana, who told you that? Kirtana, who told? You guessed. Okay. So how many of you have heard of something called as this pointer in C++ or Java? This pointer. Have you heard? If you have heard, say heard. If you have not heard, say no. I want you to heard. You have heard of this pointer? Have you heard of this pointer in C++ or Java? Yeah. So yes, if you have heard of this pointer, that this is nothing but self in Python. In C++, yeah, okay. In C++ or Java, you use something called as this, okay. Whereas in Python, you have something called as self. It is nothing but whether it is C++, whether it is Java, or whether it is Python, it is nothing but the reference with which you are calling that particular method. Okay, now listen to me. Listen, before writing down anything, listen to me. So what happens is the moment you call c dot set value, the moment you call c dot set value, what happens is that the Python interpreter will pass, say, set value. It will call set value, and with which you are calling that method, no, that will get passed internally. Internally, this will get passed. Okay, so what self will contain is the reference to the object with which you are calling this method. Okay, so it is c dot set value means basically self will contain the reference or the pointer to that object itself, that is c itself. You getting what I'm saying? Yes, no? Yes, no? Okay. Okay, now tell me, how do I prove that? How do I prove that? Listen, I want to prove that. Listen, class, class, okay, a class example. Okay, so def call self, def call self. Okay, print self. Is that okay? Print self. Okay, now what I'll do is I will create an object of this. So I'll call it as e is equal to example. E is equal to example. Okay, now what I'll do, print e, print e. Okay, so what should happen if I running this? After running this code, tell me, I have created a class, I have a method. Okay, then I have created an object of this particular class. Okay, and then I'm printing e. Is it okay? Is it okay? Right, so before that, let me even call this also, e dot call, e dot call, e dot call. I'm calling this method. Is that okay? Did you understand what I'm saying? So I'm creating a class over here. It has a method called call. I'm creating an object of this particular class, and then I'm printing this object. Let me see what gets printed, and then I'm calling this behavior of this particular object. Is that okay? Is that okay till here? Is it okay? Okay. Now, according to you, tell me what should be printed here. Can you tell me what would get printed in this both cases? What should be printed? There are. Tell me what should get printed. I mean, what am I trying to prove? What am I trying to prove? What am I trying to prove? Okay, Bhavna, can you answer me? What am I trying to prove, Bhavna?
So that E is passed into the method.
Into the method call, correct? No. So what
Yeah.
I told you was that whenever you say e dot call, okay, the Python interpreter will pass this e as part of this call method, and that is collected in this variable called as self. Yes or no? So how do I
Yes.
prove that it is getting passed? Only way is to print. So if I print, what happens? Both self and e both should give me the same output. Yes or no? It should give me the same ID or whatever it is. Correct, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Shall I run this? Okay,
Yes, sir.
let me run this. Okay, so did you see that both are giving me the same thing? Okay, it is nothing but example object at so and so memory location, example object at so and so memory location. Did you see that both are same?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So what does it prove? Did you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? So what does that prove? It proves that when, listen to me guys, listen to me, whenever you're calling a method with respect to an object, okay, that object's reference gets internally passed and gets collected as self in the method definition. Is that okay? So that is the reason, if you see in this code, right, that is the reason when I say self dot a is equal to 6 and self dot b is equal to 7, I'm saying store the value of 6 into the state belonging to c. Store the value of 7, store the value of 7 into the state called as b, that is belonging to the c. Okay, how am I saying it is c? Because self is containing nothing but c, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no, guys? Yes, no, guys, tell me. Put that in the chat box. Yes, no. I want everyone to put that in the chat box. Yes or no, guys? Okay. So always, whenever you call a method with respect to an object, that object's reference gets internally passed, and that will get collected as self, and then that creates a state for that. The value would be allocated, or the value would be given to that particular state of that particular object with which you're calling that method. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yes, no. Everyone, I want everyone to put that in the chat box. Else we can have a discussion. Don't worry. Don't worry, we'll have discussion. Okay. Now, if suppose I say c dot get value, then tell me what will be the output of this now. C dot get value. So I'm again calling the method get value belonging to C. So obviously, as I told you, even this reference will get passed over here. And now self will contain what? Can you tell me? Put that in the chat box. What will self contain? What will self contain? What will self contain? Don't answer, give me an answer. Tell me what will self contain. Self will contain the reference to C. That is the object, isn't it? Then I'll enter into it. Then what will happen? Yeah, Lakshmi, now tell me. So what will happen? Self dot A and self dot B will be returned. So whenever you return two statements via return, how will it be collected, guys? I told you during functions. Whenever you basically pass two values, yeah, hey, Lakshmi Krishna Pa, I will come to, where do you stay here? Tell me. Okay, it will be collected as a tuple, yes or no? So that will be collected as a, so where is, so that gets printed over here, the tuple gets printed over here, and that is the output, hello and 6 7. Is that okay? hello and 67. Is that okay? Guys, okay, not okay, guys? Yes or no? Everyone, yes or no? No, I want to explain you something else. That is the reason. Is that okay? Right now, okay. Now here, tell me, okay. If suppose I create Bhavana is equal to, okay, Bhavana is equal to human being. Okay, Bhavana is equal to human being, and then say Bhavana dot put weight. Okay, if I do Bhavana dot put weight, okay, what is the problem here? Tell me. What is the problem in this piece of code? Is there a problem in this piece of code? Is there if there is a problem, tell me. Is there a problem? Kirtana is telling yes. What is the problem, Kirtana? Unmute yourself and talk to me, Kirtana. Let me see what you have.
Yes, sir. It's like for different objects, we'll not be able to customize the state values.
Yeah, what is this telling? It is telling Subhash and Bhavana both are having weight
As the
78.
same weight.
If I create Kirtana, Kirtana also will have weight 78. Stupid thing, no? By
Yes.
looking at Bhavana, I feel she is somewhere around 30 kg only. Yes or no? What is your weight, Bhavana?
Sir, 45.
Oh, okay, good. 45. Okay, 45. Yes or no? And how can, if I say 78, what will happen? Gone case, Bhavana, gone case. Yes or no? Right? So this is bad way of doing. So we will see how to overcome this also later. Is that okay? I just want you to, guys, is that okay? Did you understand the thing? This is hard coded here, right? So if whichever object I create and I call put weight, everybody's weight would be 78 only. Yes or no? Which is a bad thing, correct? You cannot create different objects with the same value. That is a bad bad way of doing it, correct? You cannot have that. Okay, every object will have its own state. Though, see, state will be there. That is, Subhash will have a state weight, Bhavna will have a state weight, Kirtana will have a state weight. But what changes? I told you yesterday, what changes? What must change? What must change? Put that in the chat box. What must change? State will be there for everyone, okay, but what must change? This is the state, yeah, this is the state, okay, but what must change? Value, exactly. Value. Hey, behavior ante yaar, who is that behavior? Dirty fellow. Reshma, by behavior will change. What will change? Reshma, put that in the chat box. What will change? Okay, see, Subhash will also have weight, Kirtana will also have weight, okay, but what will change? Value will change, no? Yes or no? Value has to change. Subhash will have a different weight. Bhavana will have a different weight. Okay. Lakshmi will have a different weight. Yogesh will have different weight. Prabhakar will have different weight. Chanakeshwar will have different weight. Revanappa will have a different weight. Yes or no? Correct. So value should basically change. So how to change that value, we'll see later. But first of all, did you understand how to create a class, how to create a method, how to create an object, and how to call that method? Did you understand so much? Yes or no? Put that in the chat box if you understood. Put that. Okay. Yeah, now we'll come back to the program. Where is the program? Here, no? Okay, where is that program? Here. Okay, we'll come back to this. We will see the second. Bhavana, can you explain me the second one?
Yes, sir. We are creating one more class called as classy.
Exactly, we are classing one more classy. Okay.
Then we are defining a method called set
Yeah.
value.
Okay, we are defining. Okay, set value is there. Okay, then we also have another method called as get value.
Get
Correct, no?
value.
So two
Yes, sir.
methods are there. Both have self, no?
Yes, sir. Instant.
Randomly, along with self, see, for set value, I am passing some value, other values. See, in the previous example, did you pass any value?
No.
No, it was hard coded. Did you see this?
Yes, sir.
The values were hard coded over here. Correct, no? While calling this method, did I pass any value?
No.
While calling this method, did I pass any value, guys? Tell me. Tell no, yes or no. Put that in the chat box.
No.
I did not pass any value. Correct, no? Let me see. And that is the reason it was hard coded over here. Yes or no? Right?
Yes,
Now
sir.
let me see what is happening over here. Okay, tell me, Ma, what is happening next?
Sir, we are creating objects.
Hey, who will say this? I'll call someone to tell this.
Oh,
Appoint
we are
in the
printing
class.
hello.
Tell.
We are printing hello main.
Okay, it starts from here.
Then we are creating objects,
Yeah, how many objects are we creating?
2 objects.
Two objects we are creating. Yes or no? Do you
Yes,
understand
sir.
these lines? They are two different objects. Okay, of type.
Mm.
Of type. What type?
Class C.
Huh? Classy. Yeah, classy is the data type. You're understanding? So if I create Subhash object, it is of what type?
Human being.
Class human being. Okay, so class. So here, C. So what is the object name? COBJ1. Okay, COBJ1 is an object of type class classy. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's simple. Yeah. Listen. See here. See here. How it's very simple. Listen. Okay. Okay. So now I is equal to 6. Okay. Now I want to know the type I. So what is the type of I? Of type
Int.
class int. Correct? No. So I is of type class int. Okay. So I used to tell no when I teach object oriented programming, I'll tell you what is class, what is class, what is class. I kept on telling you, and you felt I'll be cheating you. Subhash will not tell he's lying. You felt, you didn't feel. You felt right. Yeah, so like that. So it is, this is the one which I'm talking about. This is the type, right? So similarly the type of the type of this, the type of COBJ1, right, is basically of type class classy. Is that okay? That is your type, because you have created this object out of this class. Okay, got it? Everyone got it? Everyone got it or not? Put that in the chat box, everyone. Yeah. Okay, very good. Next, Supreet, did you understand Supreet? Very Supreet, yeah, got it? Okay, now, okay, fine. Continue, Bhavna, continue.
So then we are calling method
Hmm. You're calling the method with respect to what?
with respect to first object COBJ1.
Okay, now first, wait, assume this is your heap. This is your heap. So how many objects you have created?
2 objects.
Two objects are created. Okay, fine. Then, come here, set value. We are calling the method set value belonging to,
COBJ1.
yeah, so we are calling set value with respect to the object COBJ1. Okay. So where does the control go to now? Tell me. Where does the control go to?
Definition set value.
Set value. Okay. Now it has how many parameters?
3
But you are
parameters.
passing only 2 parameters. How come 3 parameters?
Sir, internally.
Internally, loudly, you must be louder.
Sir,
You must be louder.
Okay. Sir, internally we are also passing the object.
Exactly. So this call internally will become what? Okay. Set value, and you're passing what? COBJ1. Yes or no?
COBJ1.
You're
Yes, sir.
passing COBJ1, comma 5, comma 6. This is how it goes. And then this will get called, which is that this will get called. Yes or no? So what is self-containing now? What is self-containing?
COBJ.
Exactly, COBJ1 reference. So if suppose this is COBJ1, okay, and then this is COBJ2, correct? Two objects. So this self is now referring to which one? COBJ1, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Okay, get inside. Is everyone okay with that? Just say okay in the chat box. If you're all okay with that, just say okay in the chat box. Okay, cool. Now what is happening? Tell me. Tell me, Bhavna.
Sir, then we are telling about the state.
What is that you are saying?
We are telling that it's A, that is it's 5.
No, what is A value? What did you pass? 5, no? So this
5.
contains 5. This contains 6.
6.
Okay. So then where are you storing this 5?
A.
This 5 you are storing in A or self.A?
Self.A.
Yeah. So there is a difference between this A and this self.A. This A is local to this. This self.A belongs to whom? Tell me, self.A belongs to whom?
To the class.
See here, I've told no, this A dot self. See, when you say something dot something, what does it mean? This belongs to S, is what that is the meaning.
Okay.
Yes or no? In C++, Java, Python, even in C language also you have, whenever you use dot operator, okay, that is Subhash dot weight, means what does it mean? Okay, or Bhavna dot weight, what does it mean? This weight belongs to Subhash, this weight belongs to Bhavna. You're understanding it?
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? Similarly, when I say, okay, self.a, see, why are we using the self.a? Because to indicate the interpreter to whom does this actually belong to? Yes or no? You have to clearly say whom does this belong to, right? So that is the reason we are passing. See, Python is mad to send a COBJ1 along with it. It wants to just confuse you. No, right? It wants to tell, okay, to whom should I put, where should I put this 5 and 6? You're getting it? Python wants to know to whom are you putting. See, why are you calling set value with respect to COBJ1? Because you're saying, look, boss, I am calling set value so that it can act on the object COBJ1. Now here, next line. Again, I'm calling set value with whom? With to whom? With respect to whom are you calling? I'm calling with respect to COBJ2. Okay, then Python will understand. Okay, you're calling set value on COBJ1. It means that any operation that you are doing inside with self, it means I'm doing it on what? Whose object? COBJ1.
Vijay.
Getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If you did not understand, say did not understand very clearly in the chat box. I will explain once again. Say if you did not understand, say did not understand. I want you to understand this clearly. If you did not understand, say did not understand. I'm okay to explain once again. Very important, right? Now listen to me. Okay. Why am I saying COBJ1 dot set value? I am saying COBJ1 dot others are not understood. Only Danya Manogaran did not understand. Others understood? If you're not understanding, tell me. Okay, now listen carefully. When I say COBJ1 dot set value, okay, it is an indication to the Python interpreter that boss, that is program is telling boss, I am calling set value so that you do some operation, or whatever operation you're doing, no, that operation has to happen on the object COBJ1. You understanding? Now, when I say COBJ2 dot set value, it indicates that any operation that I'm doing, that is when I'm doing set value, and if something is happening over here, it means that something, whatever is happening now, is happening on COBJ2. If I make any changes over here, that should happen on COBJ2. You're getting what I'm saying? Okay. That is the reason when I say COBJ1 dot set value means why is it actually passing that COBJ1? So that now when I say this self dot A is equal to 5 and self dot B is equal to 6, your Python will know that this A and B are there here in COBJ1 and that has to contain 5 and 6. Okay. It will not store in COBJ2. You're understanding? Because the self indicates what? Self means who? Put that in the chat box. Who is self now in this line? After executing this line, what is self now? Self now. Okay, COBJ1, correct? No. So that is the reason I am putting this 5 into the COBJ1's A and then putting B into COBJ1's B. You're understanding? These A and B are state. This A and B are state. Is that okay? Okay. I know there is a small confusion here because A and B are there. I should have changed it to P and Q, but still it works. It's good that you have a confusion. You got this? You got this? Yes, no? Yeah. Now what will happen? Come to the next line. Come to the next line. What happens in this case? COBJ2 dot set value 7 comma 9. How does this change now? Now this will be called as, okay, set value. Okay. What is the object? What object gets parsed now? COBJ2 comma COBJ2 comma 7 comma 9. Did you see that? So the same behavior is now used. Now what is self-containing now in this call? Tell me. What is self-containing? Put that in the chat box. COBJ2. Therefore, when I say self.a, which a am I actually creating? Whose a? When I say self.a, whose a is it? Exactly. So this would be a is equal to, okay, what is there now? It is 7 and 9. No. So this will contain 7 and b is equal to 9. Is that okay? You understand? Now I have created two objects with the state. Two states are there. What changes? Value changes. Okay, not okay. Guys, okay, not okay. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Yes or no? And then it is like this. Okay, now let me bring this. Where is that? Okay, give me a moment here. Okay, now where is that? Now, so instead of directly putting 78 over here, what is it I can do? What is it I can do, guys? Tell me. Tell me what I can do. You only tell me what I can do now. I cannot put 78 hard code. I cannot hard code, no? So what I can do? Okay, self comma, I can call weight something. So therefore, when I'm calling put weight, okay, so here, okay, put weight for Subhash, I will call this behavior with what? I'll call 78. Okay, 78. And while calling Bhavana's put weight, I will call 45. Okay, no. So what will happen on the heap? Two objects are created. What are those objects? One is Subhash object. Okay, the other one is Bhavana object. Okay, no. So Bhavna's state, that is weight. Sorry, here, weight. Okay. So what will happen? Subhash's weight will become, okay, what I pass 78, whereas Bhavna's weight will become, what is it? It will become 45. Now we have two different objects. Okay. Both are having the state weight, but Subhash's weight is 78 and Bhavna's weight is 45. Did you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? In the previous case, we had hard coded over here, and that is the reason both of them had 78, 78. But now here, because we are actually passing it, while calling this put value, we are passing it as a parameter, so we can actually change its weight. Is that okay, guys? Guys, did you understand? Did you understand what I'm saying? Everyone, is that okay? Okay, yeah. Yeah. So now when I say cobj1 dot get value, what is happening? Cobj dot get value, what will happen in this case? Okay. In this case, this will become what? Okay. Get value, and what is getting passed along with it? Cobj1 will get passed. Cobj1 will get passed. Yes or no? Okay. So what is self-containing now? When I call this get value, or when with respect to cobj1, what is containing self-containing? Put that in the chat box. What does it contain? Don't give me answer. Tell me step by step we'll go. What does this contain? Self-contain. It contains COBJ1. So return COBJ1's A, COBJ1's B. That is nothing but 5 and 6 gets returned. That will get printed 5 and 6 here. Okay. In the next line, COBJ2 dot get value. Okay. So what is happening over here? Again calling get value. Second time when I call get value, what is getting passed? Get value, what is getting passed now? Okay, that is cobj2. Cobj2 gets passed. Yes or no? So now the self will contain what? Cobj2. Now you understood. So I'll return cobj2 dot a and cobj2 dot b. Did you get this? Okay, now you understood what is the use of self. Yes, no? Do you understand what is the use of self now? Okay, so now tell me in the chat box, what does self basically contain? What will self contain, guys? I told you I'll be telling you in some time. What does this contain? Okay, it contains what? Reference of object with which you are calling this particular method. Yes or no? Reference, same thing. Okay, it contains the reference of object with which you are calling that particular method. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, right. Any doubts in this? Shall I go to the next one? Shall I go to the next one? Yes, no? Shall I go to the next one, guys? Everyone, I'm waiting for some time, so that you have any doubt you can ask me. I'm waiting for some time, so that if you have any doubts, you can ask me. You can make notes if you want to make notes or something. You want to take picture, you can take picture. You want to take a picture of this, you can take a picture of this. Shall we move to the next one? Okay, now cool. Okay, now listen to me. There is a problem in such kind. There is a small problem here. Guys, listen to me. No, there is a problem here. What is the problem? What is the problem? What is I mean, problem in the sense? Okay, what if? See, in this case, what happens is that. Listen to me carefully. What if let me think for an analogy. Okay, let me think for an analogy. Okay, so listen to me carefully. Okay, assume that give me a moment. I'll give you an analogy now, so that you'll understand it better. Now, every day the class happens at 8 o'clock, correct? Yes or no? Class happens at 8 o'clock, correct? Now, so who will send you the link? Who will send you the link? Who will send you the link? Put that in the chat box. Who will send the link in the group? Most, not I don't send. Most of the time, who will send the link? I send or Charan will send? Charan only will send, no, most of the time. Okay, so Charan only once or twice I send. That's all, right? Yeah. So now what happens is that So do you think I will tell Charan to send the link every day? I'll just call him up and say, Charan, please send the link. Do you think I'll tell that to Charan? Okay, I will not tell that to Charan. Okay, but here there are two scenarios. Listen, there are two scenarios here. First scenario is that, listen to the scenario very carefully. Okay, first scenario is that, assume I will every day call up Charan and say, Charan, yeah, it's time now, send the link. Okay, next day also again, Charan, okay, send the link. Charan, send the link. Charan, send the link. I keep telling Charan to send the link, right? So when I keep telling Charan to send the link, he assume that he only sends the link only if I ask him to do that. Is that okay? Is that okay? Now in this scenario, tell me, what if one day I forget, okay, I forget to ask Charan to send the link to you? What will happen? What will happen? In the first scenario, assume that one day I forgot to call Charan, okay, and what will happen that day? Okay, so there is no link, there won't be class, and it would be very difficult, and I'll not know what to do and how to do and all those things, and it would be a complete mess. Correct? No? Right? That is the first scenario. The second scenario is that, okay, I have already told Charan that, see, it is your job or it is your responsibility that every day 7:45 it is your responsibility that you send the link, and I will not call him on a daily basis. I've already told him that he has to do, and automatically he will do it. Yes or no? Now which is better, the first method or the second method? Okay, the second method. Why? Because I've already told that he has to do it. Correct? No, whether I call him or not. Now similarly, now listen to me, similarly, okay, in this example, okay, now listen, okay, now listen to me guys, listen to me. Suppose I want to calculate the BMI of, I want to calculate the BMI of, calculate, okay, BMI. Okay, what is BMI guys? What is BMI? What is BMI? Body mass index. Okay, yeah, okay, very nice. Body mass index, some dirty calculation, body mass index and all that. Even I don't know the full form, and I mean I don't know the calculation and all that, but I know they will make use of the weight. Okay, they will make use of the weight, I know. Yes or no? So they will make use of some weight over there. Now listen to me. Okay, so weight into calories or something like that, they will make use of that. Assume this is the BMI. Okay, they are calculating the BMI. Okay, now listen. Okay, now listen to me carefully. To calculate BMI, I need the weight, no? Yes or no? If I want to calculate the BMI of Subhash, then I need the weight. Yes or no, guys? Tell no. Put that in the chat box. I need or not needed? I need that BMI. Okay. What if I forgot to call put weight? I forgot to call put weight, and then I am saying Subhash dot. Okay, Subhash dot calculate BMI. I forgot to put weight, and then I'm trying to call calculate BMI. What will happen? What will happen? I forgot to put weight. I don't know to put weight. So what will happen now? Will it calculate? Will it calculate? No, nothing will happen, it seems. You will not get the BMI. Yeah, Danya, who is that girl? Who is that girl? Then Danya Manogaran. Okay, you will not get the BMI here when you don't have weight. If you forget to put the weight, you will not get the BMI. Correct? No? To get the BMI, you need weight. But the thing is that I have forgotten to put this put weight. Yes or no? Agree, disagree with this? Yes or no, guys? We are human beings, no? We tend to forget, no? So you might happen. So what if, now listen to me carefully. What if, okay, you have to, uh, I know you have to call put weight, because the weight is something, different for each and every object and all that. But still, you want to keep some random weight when, even though you forget to put, automatically your state should have some random weight. Got it or not? I'm stopping here. So I'm waiting for your answer. Do you get what I'm saying or not? You understood or not? If no, say no. You understood or not? Okay. Now my question is, see, understand very carefully. Okay. Slowly we'll go. Listen. To calculate your BMI, you need weight. Answer that yes or no. Put that in the chat box. Yes or no. Okay. You need weight. Okay. Now for that, what is it I've given first? What is it I have to do? So you need weight. So which method I have to call first? Tell me. Which method I have to call? Okay, put weight. I have to call put weight. Okay, okay, let me write that weight. Okay, I have to say, okay, Subhash dot put weight. And I have to pass that weight. Yes or no? I have to pass that weight. Only then I will be able to call calculate BMI, correct? Subhash dot calculate BMI, correct? No? Only then I'll be able to call this calculate BMI. Is that okay? Till here okay? Correct? Now, what if I forgot to call put weight? I forgot to call put weight and directly saying calculate BMI. Yes or no? Correct? So I might not get my BMI and all that. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? Why I am not getting BMI? Because I did not add the weight to it. Correct? Yes or no? Hey guys, tell no everyone, I'm waiting for you. Hmm? Yeah, weight is not passed. But now I'm saying, even though I forgot to put weight, it is. Don't you think it is good if I have some, at least some basic random weight kept somewhere so that it can automatically take? So that even if we don't give any value, it will take that weight and give it. Correct? No? Even though if I do not say put weight in some occasions, I want some default weight to be automatically there. Default weight. You're getting or not? Say that. Okay. Default weight. If even though I do not, I have forgot to call this weight, which is a bad thing, but still I want to call calculate BMI using a default weight. Might be this fellow is like this weight. Yes or no? You understood this? Now, yeah. How do I put that default weight? How do I put that default weight? Can you tell me? How do I put that default weight? That default weight can be put when the object is being created itself. When the object, now tell me, am I putting this put weight when the object is getting created or after the object is being created? I'm calling this put weight after the object is being created or during the object creation. It is after. Object has taken birth and then I'm putting this weight. Yes or no? What if I want the Subhash to have some default weight during the object creation itself? By default, by birth itself, he must have some random weight. You understanding what I'm saying? Okay. So how do I do that? I will do that using a special function called as a constructor. It is called as what? A constructor. I don't know if you have heard about this concept called as constructor. If you have any time come across object-oriented programming, you would have definitely heard about this concept called as constructor. Okay. So even your Python has a constructor using a special function called as underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Okay, no? So the moment you call that object, that function would be automatically called, and that is what I'm trying to explain you in the next program. In the next program, if you see over here, listen to me carefully, guys. Listen to me in this next. Did you understand that analogy that I gave you about weight? Did you understand, guys? Yes, no? Put that in the chat box if you have understood that. Did you understand? Everyone say understood. If you understood, correct? Now, okay. So Bhavana, can you explain me this program, please?
Yes, sir. We are creating a class called as classy,
Hmm.
and then we are defining a constructor.
Okay, forget about all this. Now here, come to
Okay.
this.
We are printing hello main.
Okay, you're printing
Then we
hello
are
main then.
then we are creating an object.
How many
Two objects
objects?
we are creating.
Yeah, so first object and second object, correct?
Yeah.
Then, where is set
Then
value? Where is set value? It is there?
it's not there.
It is not there, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
But still I am doing get value.
Hmm.
Okay, so what is get value doing?
It is
It is
returning
trying
self.
returning the state of this object, both COBJ1 and COBJ2. It is returning the state, correct?
Yes, sir.
In the first two programs, I called the set value so that I got the state value, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In this also I call, here also I called, yes or no, set value, correct? And because I have set value only, I called get value. But in this program, I'm not doing any set value only. Yes or no, Bhavna?
Yes, sir.
Then how am I calling get value when I have not given any value? When I have not set any value, then how am I getting this get value? What is your answer?
We are using a constructor.
Exactly. So what does it mean? It means when I'm creating this object class A, automatically this function will get called. Okay, this is called as your constructor function. Automatically this will get called and it will put the default value as 6 and 7. Is that okay? You got what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yes or no? So if this is your heap, okay, COBJ1 is getting created. While it is creating only, I will put A is equal to 6 and B is equal to 7. Okay, so COBJ1. Okay, so another object I'm creating. Again, when I create another object, automatically this function will get called. Okay, COBJ2. Okay, and here I'll call again A is equal to 6 and B is equal to 7. So therefore, when I'm creating these two objects, by default it has, okay, the state's value as 6 and 7 for both, and which is actually getting printed here as a tuple 6 comma 7, 6 comma 7. This is called as a constructor. Constructor is a place where you actually give some default values for your state. If you're starting up, okay, and you want some initial state for your objects, so you can put it over there. Is that okay? And later, if you don't want that, you want to change it, then you can have another set method. Is that okay?
Okay.
Is that okay? Guys, just say okay if you're okay with that. Just say okay if you're okay. Everyone, I want everyone to put that in the chat box. Yes. Okay. Now I want to explain very important thing over here. Okay. In object oriented programming principles. Okay. So basically you will have two kinds of methods. Okay. Always you'll have two kinds of methods. Okay. One is called as getter method. Okay. One is called as getter method. Okay. The other one is called as the setter method. Okay, they'll ask you in an interview, what do you mean by getter method and what do you mean by setter methods? Okay, so getter methods are those methods which is only used for getting the values. It won't change the state of an object. Guys, listen to me, you're understanding. Okay, getter methods are like, say for example, get value. Is get value changing the state of an object, or it is only getting you the state of an object? Tell me, put that in the chat box. Is getter method changing the state of an object? It's only getting, it is not changing. Whereas set value, is it changing the state of an object? Set value, is it changing the state of an object? Okay, so such, yeah, so such kind of methods, okay, are called as, okay, setter methods. Is that okay? Or they're also called as mutator methods. Mutators, they're also called as mutators. These are called as accessors. Accessor methods or mutator methods. Okay, they'll ask you in interview. Okay, mutator methods are those methods which will change the state of a particular object. They are called as mutator methods, and accessor methods are those methods which will only get the state of an object. They don't change the values. Is that okay? Yeah, clear? Mutators, accessors. Put that in the chat box if you, I mean, take a picture of this if you wish to. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Guys, shall we proceed to the next program? Is okay? Did you understand how it works? Shall we proceed to the next program? Again, yeah. So what is the problem with this piece of code? What is the problem with this piece of code? The values are hard coded. The values are hard coded over here. Yes or no? So I cannot have Subhash and Bhavana cannot have the same weight, correct? So what can we do now? While creating the objects itself, you can actually pass parameters. Did you see this? Okay, so while creating an object itself, you are passing parameters which can be passed to the constructor. Is that okay? Did you see that? Yes or no? So now by default COBJ1 will have the value as 5 and 6, and COBJ2 will have the values as 7 and 8. See, in the first program, did you pass value? In this program, did you pass value here? Did you pass value? Did you pass any value to this? Okay, no. Whereas here you see, okay, did you pass any value to this? No, you did not pass value. You had hard coded. So both the objects had 6, 7, 6, 7, correct? But I don't want that. I want COBJ1 to have 5, 6 and COBJ2 to have 7, 8. So this is what is calling parameters while calling an object. Okay, so which will come and sit in A and B. Is this clear, guys? Did you understand this? Just understand. I understood. If you're clear, just say understood. Everyone. Everyone. Is that okay? Yeah. Shall we go to the next one? Shall we go to the next one, guys? Okay. Now, output of this. Output of this. Bhavana, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we have a class named classy,
Okay,
And then we
start
have,
here. Start here.
okay, okay. Then we are printing hello main.
Okay.
We are creating objects and we are passing values into them.
Okay. So this is the first object. This is the second object. First object. What is the state? Guys, I have an assignment for
I,
you. 1 second. I have an assignment for you. So what I want you to do is, after the class, I want you to remove the cell from here. Okay, and just say A is equal to A and B is equal to B. Okay, don't say self dot A. Just try out what will happen and see what will happen if I say just A is equal to A and B is equal to A. Instead of self dot A is equal to A, just say A is equal to A. You got what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
this should become A is equal to A and B is equal to B. I want you to try it out and post it in the group. Is that okay? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, do it on the same program. On this program you do. Program 5 you do. Okay, continue ma. Tell me.
So then we are asking it to print the state of the first object.
We are not using get value, no? Set value is not used and get value. So we
No,
are only
sir.
making use of this. Okay, then. So what are we trying to do now? So we are trying to access the state of these objects outside the class. Got it?
Yeah.
In the
Yes, sir.
previous case, what was happening, we were actually trying to print this, or we were getting it, we were making use of it only inside the class. But here we are getting it outside the class. We are accessing it outside the class. Got what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what if I don't want? Okay, did you understand this code? Before proceeding further, did you understand this code? So what is the output? What is the output? You get 5 6 and 7 8. Did you get that, everyone? You got it or not? I want you to put that in the chat box. Do you understand this? Yeah, everyone, just see, observe the code. I mean, these two I'm not making use of, these two anyways. These two I'm not making use. Okay, now what if, okay, so generally, you know what, generally in object oriented design, it's always bad to allow anyone else to access this state outside the class. It's actually a bad practice. Okay, you must only make the methods available outside the class. You must not allow the state of that particular object to be available outside the class. You get what I'm saying? Okay, it means here I'm so this outside the class, this print function is basically able to print this A value and B value. It means he's able to access this state of this particular objects outside this particular class, which basically is not a good design principle. In object oriented design, it's very bad principle to access the state. So it is breaking encapsulation, yes or no? Don't you think it is breaking encapsulation? Encapsulation says what? Encapsulation says the data can be accessed only by the method which is part of that class. That is what encapsulation says. Okay, but here we are breaking encapsulation. It means, even outside the class, I'm able to print the value of cobj1.a and say, I mean, that is the state A and B, correct? Yes or no, guys? Did you understand what I'm saying? You got what I'm saying? What if I don't want, okay, outside the class people to actually access these? In that case, you can say underscore underscore A. Like in C++, you have something called as private access specifier. In Java and C and all, you have something called as private access specifier. You don't know. Okay, there is something called as access specifiers in C++, Java and all that. You have something called as access specifiers, where you say, when you say those data members are private, when you say private int A, okay, it means that that member cannot be accessed by anyone else outside the particular class, isn't it? Yes, no, guys? So you don't know, it's okay, forget, right? So in Python, if you make those variables as underscore underscore A and then try to print it over here, you know what happens? It says class U object has no attribute A, it cannot see that. Okay, so basically those members which is named as underscore underscore A would be hidden from the outside the hidden from the members outside that particular class. Is that okay? Is that okay, guys? Did you see this? Okay, not okay? Okay, now, okay, not okay? Fine, shall I proceed? You can try this out. You will get an error when you try to access this outside the class. Okay. Now listen. Okay. Now listen. So listen, guys. Listen. So okay. Okay. I can see the number of people reducing, but I don't know. That is why I saw the time. It is 9:30. Can I finish off this, guys, and then proceed? I don't want to wait now. We are in between something. I'll finish off this. Okay. So listen to. Is it okay, guys? Shall I continue? Yeah. Okay. Now listen. Yeah. Now listen, guys. Listen carefully. You might ask me, Subhash, why is it not unable to access this underscore underscore A and underscore underscore B? Because of a concept called as mangling or name mangling. Because of a concept called as name mangling. Though it looks underscore underscore A, internally Python would have changed its name. So that when you try to say underscore underscore A, Python cannot recognize it. Okay, so the moment the Python says that any state variable has given this underscore underscore a name, okay, or I mean any variable has been named as underscore underscore, it knows that the programmer is trying to hide it from the members outside the class. Therefore it will actually do something called as name mangling or name decorating. It is called as name decorating. Okay, so what is that name decorating? For us it looks like underscore underscore a, but internally Python would have given some other name to it. Okay, so if you wish to still access it, okay, if you wish to still access it, then you can still do it. Okay, by, listen to me guys, check out the screen over here. Okay, you can still access it by saying, okay, underscore class name underscore underscore a underscore class name underscore, like this will work. Okay, so basically if suppose you don't want to access it, but still there are situations where you cannot avoid that, you have to use it, then you can say, okay, this is called as name mangling. See, the name has been changed to, instead of underscore underscore a, it has changed internally, it has changed to underscore classy, okay, underscore underscore a. Though you told underscore underscore a, internally it has been changed to underscore classy underscore underscore a. So if you want to access it, you by directly by saying underscore underscore a, you will not be able to access it. So if you want to access, you have to say underscore classy underscore underscore a. This is how you, this is called as name mangling. See here, the name has been changed. Is that okay? Guys, is that okay, guys? Hmm? Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll continue tomorrow. Is that okay? So just revise. Do that assignment here before that. What is that? Remove the self.a and see what will happen. I told you, no, instead of self.a, just say a and see what will happen. Is that okay? Guys, shall we catch up tomorrow? Yeah. Chalo. Good night then. Take care. Bye bye. See you. And one second, one second. When you're leaving the chat box, at least message me, know that I'm leaving. I'll see suddenly it will be dropped to 34, 32 and all that. Anyways, chalo. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. Meet you tomorrow.